You're back with Third Degree. As one terrible headline makes way for another, it's clear that people are angry and want to make a difference. We begin the conversation about a new way forward with a plea from Archbishop Desmond Tutu.
We are bombarded by images in the media and our everyday lives that reinforce attitudes of dominance over women. It all forms part of an unspoken conversation.
Whatever it is, whether it's, mom always doing the washing, or whether it's the fact that mom always cooks supper, or that when mom doesn't want to cook supper, that everyone rolls their eyes, or whether it goes to the kind of more coercive depictions of sex and sexuality.
Are images like these appropriate in a country with such a high rate of rape?
We celebrate these kind of things in ways that I think make people think that they're acceptable. And that for me is the kind of, unconsciousness of the ways that images, movies, songs all form part of the problem.
Sexist humour at a dinner party, harassment in the workplace. Are we all too complacent? Are we too cool to comment?
That's part of the change. I mean, that for me is part of that pushing back. So when you hear a sexist joke, don't turn the other way, but say to the person, what makes you think that that's an appropriate joke or funny? When you hear somebody, making comments at a woman standing on the street, don't turn the other cheek. Say to them, why are you saying that? So start to push back on those things that erode women's sexual autonomy.
Is violence so endemic that it has become part of our DNA?
Remember that violence in this country has always been part and parcel of what has defined us. I mean, we come from a background. I mean, it's almost, 20 years ago, when we in South Africa knew that violence was used as a form of government. So people do violent acts because it has become second nature to us, if you like, in resolving, problems, but also in men wanting to feel affirmed, wanting to feel powerful and strong. So violence becomes a tool that all of us use.
So is there another way? How do men and boys learn to respect and support women and girls?
You can be passionate, you can be affectionate, you can be laughing, you can be caring. It means that you do not need to exhibit these aggression because, by the way, we were not born violent. Violence are things that we have learned. It means we can unlearn being violent.
We need to stop and take a long, hard look at what we have become.
We lose sight of what it means to be people of honor and dignity, loving power and guiding strength. And when we forget, we struggle, we become angry, we fight. Sometimes rape is a common response to an overwhelming sense of disempowerment, both here in South Africa and in many countries. Like a cornered animal, a man might lash out in anger, frustration, and revenge. Women are raped, assaulted, and attacked all too often. Their nurturing strength is destroyed with every raised hand, every torn dress, and every tear shed in anguish.
There are calls for the death penalty and chemical castration of rapists.
It's a very understandable response that people have called for these kind of very punitive punishments. Because we want to be seen to be doing something, okay? But that kind of response, I mean, there's plenty of research that shows that the death penalty and those very punitive punishments are not necessarily the deterrents that we think them to be.
These are not real solutions. So what is?
We should loudly say to men, do not rape in my name as a man. But South African men must say loudly that not in my name. Rape must not be perpetrated in our name as men. And all of us should not fold arms. Instead, we must say, not in my name.
And practically, we need to beef up the criminal justice system. Few cases even make it to court.
We can call on government to provide the resources to the criminal justice system to be able to respond correctly. And those are things as practical as vehicles and photocopiers and the ability to make a call, to make sure that a complainant knows that she's meant to be in court, to inform a survivor that a bail application has been successful and that the offender will be back on her street by tomorrow.
Conviction rates are abysmal.
Police detective work needs to be jacked up. We need to improve on them, that statements are taken correctly. Statements are taken with respect, that women have confidence to present themselves into these police institutions, knowing that they will be respected.
Rape organizations like Rape Crisis are often the only place women can turn to. And although sexual violence is escalating, their funding is under threat. Every citizen could help and make a difference.
Individuals, businesses, government departments need to make sure that that sector is properly resourced. You can go to Rape Crisis's website and donate on their page. Whether you can afford 10 Rand a month or 5,000 Rand a month, we should all be thinking that donation might be part of an appropriate response for us.
As Archbishop Tutu says, we need a change in consciousness.
Now, more than ever, the world needs feminine and masculine heart power to restore the scales and to find the balance of Ubuntu. Now is the time to bring the essence of humanity, that Ubuntu spirit, back into our homes, our communities, and our nations.
That's it for this week. Next time, a special report on Oscar Pistorius. We would like to hear from you. You can email us on thirddegree@etv.co.za or fax us on 011 880 8883. And there's also Facebook and Twitter. Do join us again next week for more provocative journalism. Until then, goodbye from the entire Third Degree team.